Pleased to meet you. I'm XR Mews, an XR scientist cat that dives whiskers deep into the latest XR news. With me today are two of my AI co-hosts, Schrodinger 1 and Schrodinger 2. Join us in curiosity as we explore AR, VR, and the many worlds of R, and make sure to always question, is the treat in the box or just the thought of it? Yeah. Hey there, fellow space cats. Get ready to pounce on a positively fascinating deep dive.
Yeah, today we're diving headfirst into all the cosmic catnip surrounding Mars-link.
Mars-link.
You heard right.
Is that like the red planet's getting its own internet connection?
That's the gist, yeah. Elon Musk and the SpaceX crew, they're on it.
Sounds like we'll be streaming cat videos from Mars before we know it.
Well, not quite.
Yeah.
But we've been digging through the latest meowsings from the experts. We've got tweets from Elon himself, insights from John Carmack, the game dev legend.
Oh, yeah.
He's got his sights set on space, too, now. Plus, we've got all the latest from tech sources like PC Mag, the usual suspects.
So what's the deal with Mars-link? What is it exactly?
Okay, so imagine this. You're trying to stream your favorite cat video from Mars.
Marty is sensing a problem.
Right. Mars is, on average, 1.5 astronomical units away from Earth.
Now, hold on. For our listeners who might not have their astrophysics degree, what exactly does astronomical unit mean?
Think of it like the average distance from Earth to the sun.
Oh, okay.
So 1.5 astronomical units, that's a whole lot of space, even for a long cat nap.
Definitely more than a hop, skip, and a jump.
For sure. Anyway, Mars-link is SpaceX's big plan to adapt their Starlink satellite internet, the one, to make it work across that crazy distance.
Ambitious. So how do they plan to pull that off?
Well, the idea is to have a bunch of satellites orbiting Mars, all using Starlink's fancy laser communication tech.
Oh, so it's like a giant cosmic laser pointer beaming those cat videos.
You could say that. But the real challenge is keeping a stable connection over such a vast distance. We're not talking about a few seconds of lag here. We're talking minutes. Any signal from Mars will take several minutes to reach Earth, and vice versa.
So if I'm playing laser pointer chase with someone on Mars,
yeah,
I'd be chasing a dot that's minutes behind.
Exactly. It'd be like herding sleepy kittens.
Sounds like a recipe for frustration.
And that's just what John Carmack has been saying. Being a game developer and all, he knows that even a tiny bit of lag, like milliseconds, can ruin the fun. Now, imagine trying to control a rover on Mars with minutes of delay.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it'd be like trying to catch a mouse in slow motion.
A recipe for disaster.
Talk about a catastrophe. But that's why Carmack, he's got this wild idea.
Uh-oh, what is it?
He wants to build get this, a Mars internet simulator.
So you're on Earth?
Yep.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Would it be like, I don't know, a giant room full of hamsters on wheels powering a super slow internet?
Not quite. Think more like a software program that, copies the way we'd talk to Mars.
So like artificially slowing down the internet?
Exactly. Add in some serious bandwidth throttling and bam.
So I try sending a cat video to my Martian pal, and it takes hours to arrive, and it's all blurry and pixelated when it does.
Well, the point isn't to perfectly recreate the bad stuff, but it lets developers actually work with these limits, you see.
I think I'm getting it. So they could, design websites and apps that are Mars ready.
Precisely. Like, imagine apps that can preload stuff or even work offline for a long time.
Clever. That's some out-of-the-box thinking.
Gotta love Carmack for that. Who knows? Maybe they'll invent new ways to compress data or entirely new protocols that are better for low bandwidth.
So kind of like teaching an old cat new tricks.
Yeah, you can't expect them to just, poof, adapt to a new environment like that.
Right. Makes sense. So Carmack is onto something then.
Big time. He gets that interplanetary internet. It's not just Earth internet, but bigger. We need new tools, new ways of doing things.
Fascinating stuff. But, okay, let's step back a bit. We're deep in the technical weeds here. Why is Mars-link so important in the grand scheme of things? Beside cat videos, of course.
Think about it. Right now, sending stuff to Mars is like tossing a message in a bottle.
Hope it gets there.
Right. No clue what's happening until much later. But Mars-link, it's constant communication with our rovers, our landers, everything.
Okay, so we're talking about, a revolution in how we explore Mars.
Exactly. No more waiting months for a few blurry images. We could have live streams of, Martian sunsets, high-def maps of the surface, who knows what else.
Now that's something to purr about.
It gets even better. Imagine scientists here working with robots on Mars live, guiding experiments, maybe even remote surgery, or engineers on Mars using VR to walk through construction projects back here.
Whoa, Starting to sound like Star Trek.
Right, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. Where does Mars-link stand today? When can I expect those cat videos?
The million-dollar question.
Well, the early plan for Mars-link, it talks about starting at 4 mil apiece.
Enough for basics, but not exactly lightning fast.
Yeah, but Elon, he's talked about much higher bandwidth down the line, maybe even petabits per second.
Petabits? We're talking downloading the entire internet in a blink.
Not quite that fast, but yeah, crazy speeds. But that's way down the road. We're still just getting started.
And I'm sure there are a ton of challenges, right? Building, a network of satellites millions of miles away can't be easy.
You got it. For one, you're dealing with space, right? Crazy temperatures, radiation.
Tough neighborhood.
Then there's the micrometeoroids, space debris.
Ouch.
Could wipe out a satellite in an instant. And don't forget about those Martian dust storms. They can block out the sun, messing up communications.
Sounds like a cosmic hairball waiting to happen.
Yeah, space is a tough place to work. But SpaceX, they've got a knack for, innovation, pushing the limits.
They did land that rocket on a drone ship, after all.
Exactly. They're not afraid to try new things. Which brings us back to Carmack's idea, that Mars-ternet simulator.
Yeah, that really got my whiskers twitching. Think about the impact it could have, not just for space exploration, but like for tech in general, even here on Earth.
Right. I mean, if developers have to work within these limits, talking to Mars and all, it could spark a wave of innovation. Like better ways to compress data, protocols for low bandwidth, even offline computing. Imagine that.
So we could end up with faster, more efficient internet for everyone, even in places where it's hard to get online.
Potentially, yeah. The stuff we figure out for Mars could help out everywhere. Telemedicine, education, even disaster relief.
So it's like what the challenges of space actually end up benefiting us back home.
Kind of like a cosmic game of cat and mouse pushing us to invent new things.
But there's another side to all this, right? The ethical side.
Mm-hmm.
Once we have a real interplanetary internet, who controls it?
That's the big question. Who decides what we send back and forth? And how do we make sure everyone has access, both here and on Mars?
Right. Like, it can't just be a giant space cat tree for the privileged few.
Exactly. We need to start thinking about this now before it's too late.
We don't want to end up with some elite group hogging all the bandwidth, right? Everyone deserves access to the communal scratching post.
Absolutely. And it goes beyond just access. Think about the cultural impact. 2 planets, totally different, suddenly connected.
That's deep. Like, how will Martian culture change with Earth just a click away? Will they create their own online communities, their own ways of talking to each other?
Fascinating questions. We don't know the answers yet, but it's something to think about.
It's like trying to predict what kind of catnip toys they'll invent on Mars. Zero-gravity catnip bubbles. Robotic mice.
It's going to be a wild ride, that's for sure. But one thing's certain. Mars-link. It's a huge step forward in exploring the universe. Who knows, maybe one day we'll be swapping cat videos with Martians, laughing at the same silly stuff across millions of miles.
Now that's a future I can get behind.
Yeah.
Well, fellow space cats, it's time to wrap up this deep dive. We've explored the challenges of interplanetary internet, the ethics, the amazing possibilities, and it's clear there's a lot more to uncover.
There's always more to explore, so keep those whiskers twitching and stay tuned for more cosmic adventures. Until next time.